Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. We broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains, Monday through Friday, right here on GCN. We have a call-in line, and you may want to take advantage of this today. We'll pay for your call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. We also have a listen line if you care to listen on the go. 605-562 605, well, let me give you a different one. 605-477-3249. 605-477-3249. We have 3 listen lines, but I gave you just one. There's a link to your instructors on the website, USAPREPARES.com. John is engineering the broadcast. I'm Vincent Finelli. And for those of you who are new to this class, there are about 250 of us here at USAPrepares.com. Engineers, surgeons, CEOs, broadcasters, editors, researchers, authors, physicists, programmers, farmers, inventors, and students rising to become instructors. Today, I'm delighted to introduce to you 2 of your newest instructors, Jeremy Benenati and Nicole Benenati. And let me just introduce a little bit of the story before you hear their voice. This is a story of what happens when someone calls 911. Someone calls 911 on you, and the day gets worse. Here's the story of what happened when 911 was called on this family. We'll introduce the family, then we'll tell you the story about how horrific this has become. And let's add to the mix calling Child Protective Services. We'll add that in there too. I'd like to welcome your newest instructor, Jeremy Benenati. Welcome, Jeremy.
Hi, Vincent. Thank you.
It's great to hear your voice. And Nicole Benenati, you're on this conference call as well. Welcome.
I am. Hi, Vincent. Thank you for having us today.
You're welcome. And let me tell you how this happened, class. I received a contact at the farm that I needed to run over to a business and meet this lady and hear the story. So I hopped in the truck, I drove over, and I heard the story that you're about to hear. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And it hasn't ended yet. So why don't we start out with Jeremy? Tell us how old you are, please.
I'm 41 years old.
You're 41 years old. And you're married to Nicole. And how old is Nicole?
I'm 34.
34. And you have some children. How many children do you have?
We do. We have 6 children.
Okay, there's 6 children in the family. And how long have you been married, the 2 of you?
We've been together for about 6 years and married for 4.
There you go. Great. Okay. So you've been together for 6 years. You have 6 children. And you moved to Missouri, rural Missouri, from where?
From California.
Okay. And Jeremy please share with us what you do for a living, please.
I'm a software developer for an insurance company. So I basically write the software that allows them to give quotes and things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So would you say that you're a programmer, you're a database guy, you're an internet guy, a web type guy? You do those kinds of things?
Yep, all of those and then some.
Okay. So you do this. Obviously, you're quite talented, or you wouldn't be doing this. Nicole, what do you do?
I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I homeschool our 6 children.
Okay, so it sounds like you've got a busy day every day, raising 6 children. By the way, I think that that's wonderful for those moms who stay at home and raise their children rather than farm off their children to other people to raise them. So I think that's really, really a great choice. And Mrs. Finelli did that as well. She was a software developer as well for Fortune 100 companies. And when we had children, she became a stay-at-home mom to raise and homeschool our children as well. Let me ask you, you moved to rural Missouri. And I must say, class, the location that the Benenatis selected is very, very close to our farm. Very close. As a matter of fact, I could easily walk to it. Easily walk to it. I've driven past their farm a number of times. And it's on a gravel road that connects to the gravel road that we're on. It's very, very close. As a matter of fact, you might say we're neighbors. Literally. Jeremy, what went into the equation to move to Missouri from California?
There's actually a lot of things that we researched, including laws on homeschooling, laws on, property ownership and, constitutional rights. And, we investigated pretty much the entire United States, and based on how we wanted to live, where we wanted to live, the type of homestead we wanted to have, Missouri seemed like the best choice for us. So it took us about a year of research and to make that decision.
Okay, and that's not unlike what went into our decision at our household when we moved from the East Coast to this very spot. And if you put a map pin in a map, you'd be very hard pressed to find that there is a needle's width of difference on the map between the property that you selected and the property that we selected, literally. So homeschooling, property rights, probably taxes went in there, and freedom from oppression. Is that in there too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And and after you moved here, what did you do? What happened with this property? Tell us how big this property is and what you started to do with it.
Well, we ended up purchasing a 20-acre fully wooded lot. So there was no clearing on it whatsoever for a house. So initially we had to carve out a small section up front so that we could put a small cabin on it, so that we could move out onto the property so that, we could put as much work into it as possible, when I was off work and on the weekend. So step one was to carve out that clearing and get the small cabin out there, and we did that and got moved in there. And then we started working on a 740-foot driveway to go back to roughly a 3-acre clearing that we had to cut down all the trees and make the clearing for. And that's kind of that's the process that we were in. We'd actually got the driveway cleared and cleared out the 3-acre clearing in the back when all of this took place.
Okay, so let me see if I have this right. You moved to the middle of nowhere on a dirt road surrounded by woods if you go up your road or down the road until they started clearing that 1 square mile adjacent to you. It was woods everywhere, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And so you have 20 acres. How can you tell us the depth and the width of that property just to give our class an idea of how big 20 acres is?
It's about 640 feet wide and about 1,300 feet deep.
640 by 1,300. Okay. So roughly a quarter of a mile deep.
Correct.
Yep. Okay. So class, you could literally put on this property, if it were on the East Coast, let's say 60 homes, 40 to 60 homes
Right.
on this property. So it's in the middle of nowhere. It's wooded. And then what happened? What happened? What caused the turmoil to erupt in your lives? What event happened that upset the apple cart?
We had a neighbor that owned a 20-acre parcel of property directly to the north of us. His property line borders our property line. And before we even put our cabin out there, he came over and was talking to us and asking when we were planning on moving out there. And when we told him we'd be moving out there in November, his immediate response was, perfect, right in the middle of our hunting season. And, that kind of started the ball, rolling. We let him know that, we'd try to be quiet and things like that. And things just picked up from there. After that encounter, he started coming over to the cabin once we got it out there while I was at work. And he would tell my wife various things like, it's hunting season. You need to make sure your kids stay inside, or if they do go out in the yard, they need to wear orange or they'll get shot, on their own property. He came over to let her know that our property was located right in the middle of Tornado Alley, and we better strap everything down. Came over another time and said that there were thieves in the area and they'd, rob us blind if, we didn't watch everything. So basically he started trying to warn us off. And it didn't take us long to realize, what he was doing. We believed that he wanted to be able to...
Jeremy, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're going into a commercial break. We'll be right back. Jeremy and Nicole Benenati. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, you'll find hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You be the boss. Go to freedom106.com.
This is Dan Pillett. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
Are your Google search results killing you? Unflattering content in blogs, news articles, online reviews, social media, or other sources can jeopardize your reputation, your business, and your livelihood. Let Reputation.com help. Our patented technology will make the truth about you more visible while pushing down unwanted negative content. Improve your Google search results. Call Reputation.com at 1-800-831-0771 for a free consultation. That's 800-831-0771.
Class, this is a special broadcast. As you know, I've been investigating some of the criminality in this country and what happens when the police become involved. This is part of that story. And Jeremy was telling us that his neighbor advised him that he moved to Tornado Alley. That's correct. That's absolutely true. He advised... his neighbor advised Jeremy that there are thieves in the area. That's absolutely true. And he advised him that he was building his cabin in the middle of hunting season. Yeah, that's true. So, can't deny that those things are true. However, I'm sure, Jeremy, that you knew that there are tornadoes in Missouri. Is that right?
Yes.
And when you moved from California, there were thieves there too, right?
Yep, most certainly.
Yep. And you knew that there was a hunting season in Missouri, right?
Yes.
So my understanding is that you upset the apple cart when you decided to buy this property that was for sale to anyone who had the funds to buy it, and you wanted to build a cabin on it where you would be living on your 20 acres, which is 640 by 1,320 feet, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, so I can't think of a single thing that you've done wrong to this point. Can you?
No.
Okay, so what's the rest of this story?
So after he'd been warning us for a couple of weeks, I came home from work one night, and it was just getting dark outside, and the children were outside playing. Just off the cabin. Our cabin was literally 20 feet off the road because we didn't have much of a clearing when it was brought out, and so they were playing back behind our cabin on the other side of it, so they were away from it. And my wife and I are standing inside the cabin talking. And all of a sudden, we hear a bunch of screaming coming from the neighbor's property. And that's followed up by several gunshots, 6 or 7 gunshots in rapid succession. We hear a car door slam, a truck fires up. And by this point, I'd stepped outside because the kids were screaming. As soon as they heard the gunshots, they came screaming, and running inside the house. They weren't expecting that. It startled them. So they come running in the house, and I step outside to see what's going on. And I see this vehicle come from our neighbor's property, peeling out down the road and comes sliding to a stop in our driveway. Our neighbor jumps out of the truck and he's yelling at us that, we're making too much noise and, we're going to be sorry that we moved there and, just going on and on. The hunter friend that he was with had got out of the truck and he was trying to calm our neighbor down and tell him just to get back in the truck. And as they're getting back in the truck, our neighbor who was upset says, "You're going to be sorry you moved here. I'm going to call Child Protective Services on you." And he gets in the car and leaves. So we go back into the cabin and we're kind of talking about what happened. And about 20 minutes later, a Wright County Sheriff's deputy pulls up out front of our house. And I go out to talk to him and he says that, he received an anonymous complaint that we have children on the property and we don't have hot water or electricity. I talked to the deputy. I was irritated. I just dealt with our neighbor, and now here the police are coming out to our house. And, I told him, I said, we have electricity. We have a generator for power. I said, we have a wood-burning stove to provide hot water. And he was satisfied, and he left. And that was the end of that incident. We had hoped that that was going to be the end of it. Unfortunately, it wasn't. About 2 weeks later, on the weekend, we're working on the driveway, doing the clearing, and a sheriff's deputy pulls up and says that he received a complaint from our neighbor that his locks to his drive gate had been super glued shut and that we had thrown a dozen tires onto his property. We talked to the sheriff, to the deputy. We told him, we hadn't done that. He accepted that and took a report from our neighbor and left.
I guess the story continues. We're going into a commercial break. We'll be back after about 3 minutes. And we're going to hear more of this story. It gets worse. It gets worse. The case is being built against Jeremy and Nicole Benenati.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
Hello, my name is Don Wiskin from HeartDrop.com, the distributors of Extendivite, the #1 heart drop that people have been raving about for years. Every February for the last 16 years, HeartDrop.com has had a Heart Month sale to help you stay heart healthy. For only $115 plus shipping and handling, you can get a 4-month supply of Extendivite in either liquid or capsule form to help you get started on your path to better health. Now is the time to stock up. Order what you need. Stay heart healthy all year with the #1 heart drop, Extendivite. To order your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Class, we're telling a story about Jeremy Benenati, Nicole Benenati, neighbors of mine down the gravel road, and this is the story of what happens when someone calls the government on you. By the way, Jeremy and Nicole, I just called the Missouri House of Representatives, and I called Representative Tony Duggar's office, Dugger. I know Tony Duggar. And so I wanted to alert him that we are discussing this matter. He used to spend several years of his life at the courthouse in Hartville, Missouri. And I wanted to make sure that he was aware of what we're talking about, because it's in his representative area, Tony Duggar. So his office said that they would get him a message, and I said, well, we're going to be talking about it for the next hour and a half. And that seemed to bring more urgency to the situation. So I invited him to call in, and I invited him to listen, and I invited him to call me off the air, and I said I would take the call if I can during a break. So he is being alerted to the situation. That's Representative Tony Duggar. And if you'd like to call him, I'll give you his number. It's 573-751-2205. 573-751-2205. That's his official number at the Missouri House of Representatives in Jefferson City, Missouri. He's there right now. Okay. Jeremy, please continue.
Okay. So, like I said, after he filed that report, the sheriff the deputy came over, asked the questions. He ended up leaving. And that's all we heard from him, for several weeks, a couple of months even. And, we thought, okay, good. Maybe things are going to settle down. This is well outside hunting season now. So they only use that property for hunting. They don't live there. There's no residents on that property. So we hoped, things would calm down and just die off. So we purchased the dog, to have out on the homestead, and a German Shepherd. And we were in the process of training him, to walk with us and things like that. So I'm taking the dog for a walk down the street towards our neighbor's property, who's, to my knowledge, isn't there. And as we walk, the dog, is kind of down in the ditch sniffing a little bit. I'm just letting him walk. And he gets up to the neighbor's driveway and starts barking. So I immediately run up there. And by the time the dog has crossed the culvert, and he's about halfway up the neighbor's driveway between the road and the neighbor's drive gate, which is open, and the neighbors are there, and the dog's barking at the neighbors. So I'm yelling at the dog, to come back to where I'm at. And before the dog comes, our neighbor, who is a convicted felon, we had found out in the meantime, comes walking over and has a small black pistol in his hand. And as he's walking over, he's like, "You better get that dog off my property or I'm going to shoot it." And he chambers around into the pistol. At this point, I'm unarmed. I had no weapon on me whatsoever. And I'm yelling at the dog to come back to me. And when he chambers around and starts pointing the pistol at the dog, I moved a step forward to grab the dog's collar to pull him back to the road, and get him back to the property. At that point, our neighbor points the pistol at my chest and says, "Stay off my property or I'll shoot you." So I immediately stopped moving forward and, step back onto the road. My wife hears the shouting from our property, and she comes running down to see what's going on. And, she sees that the dog is barking, and, while the neighbor is yelling to, get him off the property. And so she goes to step forward, and he doesn't point the pistol directly at her. He moves it towards her feet, and again repeats for her to stay off his property. So basically, we have a dog standing on his driveway, barking at him. He's demanding we get it off the property, but when we try to move forward, he won't let us. And the dog isn't coming because our neighbor is yelling at us, and that's agitating the dog.
Well, and let's be clear, our dog was a 4-month-old puppy.
Yeah.
So he wasn't, he wasn't fully trained, and he was still pretty small. So he wasn't a vicious, attack dog at this point.
So this is all going on. I can't think of anything else to do. I run back to our property. I grab my rifle, sling it over my shoulder so that I'm not brandishing it. I don't want them to think I'm going to shoot them, but, clearly something needs to be done. I go back down to the property. By this point, our neighbor has stopped shouting. My wife is able to coax the dog off of the driveway and start walking the dog back. I stand there while she walks the dog back, and our neighbor is, throwing some insults at me, and we're kind of, verbally going back and forth a little bit. That dies down. She gets the dog back to the property. I go back to the property, put my rifle up, and go back and wait for the police to come because Wilder has, stated that he called the sheriff's department. So at this point, I'm thinking, okay, the sheriff is going to do something now. We have a convicted felon. He has multiple firearms on the property, one of them in his hand. The sheriff should do something. When I go back, I stand across the road from the neighbor's property against a telephone pole. I'm completely unarmed while the neighbor has put his firearms up. And we wait for the sheriff to arrive. The deputy pulls up, and they see me standing next to the telephone pole. The neighbor and his brother-in-law are standing by their drive gate. The deputy pulls out an AR-15, levels it at my chest, and tells me to get down on the ground. Doesn't say anything to the neighbors. Tells me to get down on the ground. I comply. I get down on the ground. They come over. They put me in handcuffs and leave me to sit on the side of the road, and they go and talk to the neighbor. I inform the deputy that the neighbor is a convicted felon, that he has firearms. They didn't do anything about that. In fact, he was annoyed that I was telling him about that, so he put me in the back of the patrol car until they could finish talking to the neighbor. When they were done talking to the neighbor, he comes over, gets me out of the back of the patrol car, takes the handcuffs off, asks me if I understood why he put me in the back of the patrol car, to which I told him, no, I didn't. I feel you're on a power trip, and I want your supervisor's number. He gave me a card with the supervisor's number. He asked if we wanted to file a protection order against our neighbor because of what happened. He said the only thing we could do is file for an order of protection called an ex parte order. We said, yeah, we want to do that. So we did. We went to court seeking for the judge to give us protection from the neighbor. The judge chastised us for having words with the neighbor at all and finished, but she said the ex parte order couldn't be granted because those are strictly for stalking cases and didn't apply to our situation. And then finished by saying that things needed to settle down. They were getting out of hand. There had already been a firearm homicide in the county relating to a property dispute. And that's how she finished it and dismissed court. The very next issue that we had with Mr. Wilder was he called 911 while my wife and I are preparing to work on our property for the day to, build a bathroom. And the next thing we know, the sheriff is arriving out at our property to find out about us shooting at our neighbor. When the deputy arrived, I had gone back on our property to the far back where they're logging and stripping all the trees because they had already crossed our property line once and cut down a few of our trees. So I had walked back there to see, what was going on. All the way from the back of the property, I heard a car horn blast. So I start walking up to the front thinking that Nicole is, trying to get my attention, get me back to come back to the front of the property or something. When I get up there to the front of the property, I see that there's a sheriff's car sitting in our driveway. Nicole has our dog who was barking at the sheriff, and she's taking the dog towards the back of the property, and I'm walking up towards the deputy to see, what the problem is. As I'm walking towards the deputy, I'm on my property. He's sitting in the road. He's not actually in our driveway. He's sitting in front of our driveway, with his vehicle, and then he's standing on the other side of his vehicle. And as I approach, I'm still 50 feet away from him. He points his finger at me and tells me to put my hands up. I put my hands up. I say, you know what? I'm tired of having issues with you guys. I'm tired of you guys, abusing your power with me. I'm not going to talk to you. I said, if there's a problem, go get a warrant and come back. He said, I just want to talk to you. I said, I'm not going to talk to you right now. I said, if there's a problem, come back with a warrant. And I turned around and I walked back down our driveway to remove my firearm so that there were no further problems with the police.
Hold that thought. We're going into a commercial break, and we'll hear more about what happens when you walked away from. By now, you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your Youngevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-704-6182.
A Place for Mom offers free one-on-one advice from local advisors and a personalized list of senior living communities you can visit. If you have questions about senior care for your mom or dad, there's a place for answers, A Place for Mom.
Call A Place for Mom in the next 10 minutes to get your free ebook on financing senior care as well as free information on senior living communities in your area. Call 1-800-704-6182. That's 1-800-704-6182.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
Jeremy Benenati's with us. Nicole Benenati's with us. They have 6 children. They have 20 acres down the road from us in rural Missouri. And so, Jeremy, you were telling us that the sheriff came up and to your property and pointed his finger at you. Now, was that the sheriff or the sheriff's deputy?
That was the sheriff's deputy.
Okay, so the sheriff's deputy pointed his finger at you and did what?
And he told me to put my hands up, which I did. And at that point, I told him, I said, I'm not going to talk to you, because he was saying he just wanted to talk. I said, I'm not going to talk to you because every time you guys come out here, you abuse your power with me. The last time I called you out, you put me in handcuffs and let a felon with a firearm go and didn't do anything about it. I said, so I'm not going to talk to you. I said, come back with a warrant. And I turned around and I walked away. I walked down my driveway to my truck to secure my firearm because I certainly didn't want to be carrying that around with the police out there.
And you're talking about on your own property, correct?
On my own property, yes.
Okay.
So I went back. My truck was unlocked. All the windows were down. And the keys were in the cabin by where the deputy was at. So I couldn't really secure my firearm. So I took it off. I put it in the truck. And decided I'd go back up to the cabin, to get my keys and cell phone so that I could lock my truck up and, have something so I could record what was happening. So I go back up and I come around the corner of the driveway by our cabin, and the deputy is still there. He's now wearing full body armor and has an AR-15 out. As soon as he sees me, he levels the AR-15 at my chest. And I have my hands up, and I raise my shirt to show him that I'm no longer armed. I don't have a weapon on me. And I'm telling him to lower his weapon. And he refuses. He won't lower his weapon off me. So I said, okay, then, I'm done. And I turn around and I walk back down my driveway. Because I'm not going to stand there with him pointing his weapon at me. At that point, I go back down the driveway. I hear, I hear them calling me, trying to communicate with me. This goes on for about 10 minutes. Finally, I decide to go up and try to talk to them. Just, tell them whatever it is they need to know so that they'll go away, because it's becoming obvious to me that they're not going to leave. So I go back up my driveway. This time when I round the corner, the deputy's still there. He's still in body armor, has his AR-15. He doesn't point it at me this time. And there's also a state trooper, Eric Cooper, who was there. And the state trooper starts trying to engage me in conversation. I said, I'll talk to you. I said, but, don't point your firearms at me. I said, and stay off my property. I said, because if you come on my property, I will file criminal trespass charges against you. So he steps up. He's standing on the road in front of my culvert, asking me if I was shooting at the neighbors. I said I wasn't shooting at the neighbors. And as he's talking to me, he's walking forward. And he crosses over the culvert, in front of my cabin. I said, you've just committed criminal trespass. I said, get off my property. If there's a problem, come back with a warrant. And I turned around and I walked back down my driveway. After probably another 20 minutes, I heard one of my friends calling me, one of our neighbors, and I knew his voice. So I go walking back up to the front of the property. This time, Sheriff Glenn Adler is there. And I can only see, in front of my property, I can only see, maybe 60 feet across. So I don't know. There's woods on either side. I couldn't see who was up and down the road. Sheriff Glenn Adler starts trying to talk to me. And I had talked to the sheriff one other time when he came out about the tires. And he's like, "You're not under arrest. We just want to talk to you about what's going on." I said,
Okay.
"That's fine." I said,
Hold that thought. Jeremy, hold that thought. We're going into top of the hour news and commercial announcements. And I'm going to ask you, have you pointed your gun at any of law enforcement? We'll be right back. You want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food. Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body Brain and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
Attention citizens. This man has received national attention for accurately predicting every major financial trend, including the market crash of 2008. His name is Harry Dent. And in his newly released book, he is making even bigger and bolder predictions that have the potential to devastate the world economy and your personal wealth. You can get a free copy of Harry Dent's bestseller, The Demographic Cliff, containing never-before-published information by simply visiting www.harrydentresearch.com. Again, that's www.harrydentresearch.com.
Set, cocked, locked. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. We're doing a special broadcast about what happens when 911 is called on a family. And this is hour number 2 of that discussion. Jeremy Benenati's with us. He's 41. Nicole Benenati's with us. She's 34. They have 6 children. They're neighbors of mine. They just live down the road on a dirt road. I live on a dirt road, and you can drive down our dirt road and very quickly get to their 20-acre parcel. They're building a cabin. They're trying to live here. Neighbor calls 911. Neighbor calls Child Protective Services, and the fury of the government is unleashed on the Benenati family. Jeremy, so my understanding is that the sheriff's deputy pointed his finger at you, told you to raise your hands. He was armed. Previously, a sheriff's deputy had pointed his AR-15 at you. Not a very pleasant situation. Were you ever in the fear of being killed?
Most certainly. Several times throughout this, the sheriff's deputy stated, "We don't want to hurt anybody, but, we don't want to have to shoot you," as they're pointing their AR-15s at me. So as I was walking away from them, refusing to talk, I was most certainly in fear of being shot in the back.
And this is by the sheriff's office responding to a 911 call by your neighbor, but they said it was an anonymous phone call, correct?
At this point, I didn't know who had called. They never said it was an anonymous phone call. The anonymous call was when he called the sheriff and complained that I didn't have hot water for my children and they weren't being fed.
Okay. So this sounds clearly to be a problem with your neighbor. Why do you think your neighbor had this problem with you?
Well, initially I believed it to be a matter of hunting rights, that, he felt entitled to hunt the property that had been left open, with no one living on it. And, he acknowledged in the court hearing in front of the judge that he had hunted all over our property. That's how he claims to know that the tires that were mysteriously put on his property came from ours, was because he had seen all of those tires there. So, initially that was the thought. However, we've recently come across a law in Missouri, and you'll have to forgive me, I can't remember the exact name of it, adverse possession, that, basically entitles somebody who is utilizing the property that is unoccupied to try and claim possession to it. And, with everything that is happening to us and the way that this is going down, we're starting to believe that may be his ultimate motive.
I remember studying real estate procedures, back in the 1980s. So it was quite a while ago. And there's a doctrine of adverse possession, and that means that, let's say, your neighbor plants some shrubs on your property and continues to maintain those shrubs and water them and clean them and whatever he has to do to take care of them. By doing that for about 20 years, a neighbor, well, in this one particular instance, it looks like 10 years. It's got to continue for 10 years, at least 10 years. Then the neighbor can claim that that's his property. So that's the basic doctrine of adverse possession. So, but it has to be continuous. Now, is that what happened? Did this neighbor continually occupy your property for 10 years?
Our understanding is that the property had been sitting empty for almost 10 years.
No, that's not what I mean. Well, no, your property. When you owned it, did your neighbor use your property continuously for 10 years? No. Okay, couldn't, because you haven't owned it for 10 years.
Right.
Okay. So it doesn't seem like adverse possession plays in this case. At least that's my understanding of it. Okay. So then what? So this guy's claims he owns your property because he's hunted on it, right?
Correct.
Well, I can tell you there are a bunch of people who have hunted our property, and there would be a long line of people that under what you're talking about would be able to claim our property and every other property around here, because hunting goes on out here. People trespass, they hunt from the road, they shoot animals from the road. It's pretty much the Wild West here. And I have a feeling that we had a lot more hunters on our road until we decided to let them know that it really wasn't something that we would like to see continue, hunting from the road, shooting animals on our farm, shooting toward our house and so forth. So we talked to a bunch of people, and they decided that maybe they ought to move on. And maybe they moved on down the road to your road, literally. Maybe that happened. But these hunters feel that it's their right to trespass because they've been doing it for a while. It's unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. And you building a cabin on your property is your right. And by the way, walking your dog down the road is not a problem either, because there's no animal control in this county. Right. And there are no building permits in this county. So if you want to build a house or a cabin and you want to make it as ugly or as beautiful as you want, well, that's your right. And there's no one here in this county to cause you to make any changes to that. If you want to build it, on the left side of your property, the right or the front or the back, that's up to you. It's your property. It's not like we're regulated here. And that's one of the reasons why we moved here.
And that's because one of the reasons that we moved here.
Okay, so what happened was the full force of the sheriff's office was brought down on you because your neighbor called. And what about the state trooper or the highway patrol who showed up? What was that all about?
Well, apparently, according to the police report, when I walked away from the deputy the first time, he put in a call to his dispatch asking for assistance from anybody in the area because I had a pistol and a rifle in the woods. I never had a rifle in view of them that I had. The only thing that I had when I spoke to them was the pistol, and that was only, the first time I spoke to them. After that, the pistol had been removed, and I never had it again.
So let me see if I understand. Are there any charges against you right now?
There's 4.
What are those charges?
Count 1 is unlawful use of a weapon. Because they claim that I knowingly shot a firearm at another person or a person.
Did you do that?
No, I did not.
Are there any witnesses to that?
That I did or did not shoot?
That you did shoot. Can anyone say that they saw, is there a person that says that they saw you shoot?
No.
Okay.
The best that they have is our neighbor, who was out there with his brother-in-law and his nephew. Our neighbor only says that he saw me with my pistol following a shot, is what he claimed. He didn't see me that day. He never saw me until I was arrested. But in his report, he states that that's what he saw.
Are you saying that report contains lies?
Most certainly. This police report is riddled with lies.
So is there a false police report?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The state trooper, Eric Cooper, filed a report, and the sheriff's deputy also filed a report. And in their report, they're claiming things like, when I went back into the woods, I changed out of a white T-shirt into an olive drab T-shirt for tactical purposes. They're stating that I threatened them, that I told them I would shoot them if they came on my property, and that things would get bad if they came on my property, which is not true. I told them to stay off my property unless they had a warrant. I said, if you come on my property, I will file criminal trespass charges against you. And when the state trooper did, in fact, come onto my property, that's exactly what I told him. I said, you've committed criminal trespass. I will be filing a complaint against you.
And what about your neighbor who aimed his handgun at you?
Absolutely nothing. See, the problem that I have here, our neighbor that is giving us all of these problems was convicted of rape in California. He was sentenced to 8 years in prison. He moved to Missouri, And according to documents that are freely available online, it shows that he was arrested in 2010 on another allegation of rape here in Missouri. The prosecuting attorney has not been able to do anything with that. We had actually spoke with the prosecuting attorney about that, and he said he wasn't able to get a conviction on that. And even with that, when they're told that he has a firearm, and we called the prosecuting attorney about that as well, they said, oh, well, there was a new law passed in Missouri that allows a convicted felon, as long as it wasn't violent, to possess a firearm.
And by the way, that is true. There is an amendment to the Missouri Constitution that says that the right of every citizen to keep and bear arms, ammunition, and accessories typical to the normal function of such arms in defense of his home, person, or family and property when shall not be questioned. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Are you looking to sell body armor? Want to make extra money selling body armor at your local gun shows? With low minimum buys and great returns, Katie Armor is the answer. Make money in your spare time. It's American-made body armor with the quickest turnaround in the industry, which means you get your product when you need it at very competitive rates. And they'll ship it to you for free. If you own a business, give them a call today at 855-488-KATIE. That's 855-488-2284. Or go to katiearmor.com. Come and take it.
Class, we're talking about a nightmare. And by the way, I called Representative Tony Duggar's office again to see if he would like to join us in this discussion. And he's in a committee meeting, and they texted him. So I've placed 2 calls to Missouri House of Representatives Tony Duggar's office. If you'd like to call him, here's his number, 573-751-2205. 573-751-2205. That's Representative Tony Duggar. He's serving his 4th term in the Missouri State House of Representatives. We've got Rich Sheben on the line. Rich, you're in Montana. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Vince. Appreciate you putting me on. And I just want to leave some messages for Jeremy and Nicole. So if you guys could just take a moment and just listen to a few of the suggestions I had. I live off-grid in Montana, and my website's offgridmontana.com if you want to see that. And I've been on Vince's show many times. I'm from the metropolitan area of New York City, so I'm definitely an outsider. I've been here 30 years now. And I came here to hunt and fish and live the culture. So when people from California especially move into an area, guys, a lot of the local people think you're going to change their culture and make things difficult for them. I just want you to listen. Don't comment, because I got a few things I want to say, please. And you're in a very compromising situation. There's absolutely no doubt about it. In fact, I'm going to say some things you might not want to hear, but you got to remember, this economy, bad economy equals bad tempers. I'm not making excuses for your neighbors, for the police. What everybody has done, I bet everybody, if they could take it back, they would have done things a little different. And that's especially being a tattletale and calling 911, calling the police. So some of my suggestions is you have to first realize that a lot of our judges, even law enforcement, a lot of people are paid off because we're entering a police state, a surveillance state. And self-sufficiency is definitely on the top of the list. These people do not want thinkers. They want to cultivate followers. This is top-down enforcement. They're more into their paycheck and pension than they are about creating synergy between the bottom 93% of the people. Well, my first suggestion would be, Jeremy and Nicole, is, and we do this here, we fence our dog, because in Montana, if your dog is chasing deer or wildlife, someone's going to shoot it. That's the law. So we fence our dog just to make it easier on the wildlife and for the neighbors. We had a moose and calf here the other day, and our dogs went crazy, but they couldn't chase it because they were fenced in. The second thing I would do is video and audio up everywhere you can. I have trail cams all over my property. And it's not for the context of surveillance for people. It's for the context of capturing wildlife, nature, but it'll have a dual purpose. In addition to that, I have a saying. If you don't knock on the door, it'll never open for you. This is what I would do in your situation. I would create a neighborhood meeting, to label it a synergy meeting, a solutions conference, an ideas setting, and communicate, negotiate. Okay, you can't get enough of it. And even when a police officer wants to communicate, my advice is to continue that, to build a relationship. And I know when you have emotions flying and things like that, it's very hard. And, as far as the term felon that you used, Jeremy, there's so many people who have been unjustly arrested and convicted. And look at the 4 convictions or the 4 things against you right now. Who knows what they can do? And this is what, and you also mentioned one of the objectives that this neighbor might have to confiscate your property. I'm not a real estate attorney, but unless he has a prescriptive easement that he's been going on your property to get to access his property because he doesn't have a legal access to his property, he can't go on there. And I don't know if any neighbors have an easement going through your property, but that's one of the reasons I always say to buy end-of-road property, because this way you can control your own destiny on who comes through your property. So those are the pieces of advice that I would give Jeremy and Nicole real quick, because your situation, I don't know if, when tempers flare like that, I don't know if it can be remedied, but I'd certainly try bringing the neighbors in, creating a little dinner, and creating synergy and communication.
Rich Even, thanks so much for the call, and I appreciate it. And I'm going to share with Nicole and Jeremy who you are right after the break. Thanks so much for your call.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Removing bad taste and odor from your drinking water is easy. Removing the bad stuff you don't taste is what ProPure does best. Water the way nature meant it to be. Clean, crisp, and refreshing. See the complete line of ProPure countertop, inline, gravity, and household water filtration products. Visit your authorized ProPure dealer or ProPureUSA.com. That's ProPureUSA.com or call 800-544-3533.
Winter has just begun, and are you already tired of being cold? How would you like to never be cold again? This is Dale with Fortress Clothing, and I'm here to tell you, you will never be cold again with Fortress. If you're tired of freezing your butt off, elk hunting, sitting in a tree stand deer hunting, winter camping, fishing, ice fishing, no longer fear the cold. If you snowmobile, ski, snowboard, get Fortress. Sledding with the kids, shoveling the walks, shopping, or if you or your spouse get cold feet at home, get Fortress. If you're stuck outside working in the cold or find yourself in an emergency situation, get our winter bug out bag and you will never be cold again. Fortress is the answer, so quit complaining and go to fortressclothing.com. It's a mid-layer garment that goes with anything you want to wear. Enter coupon code RADIO and get 20% off any item. Go now while we still have inventory. FortressClothing.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't take on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Are you still looking for that one iodine that you can really trust? A medical doctor endorsed product that is backed by honest research and true integrative science? Then search no further. Go to NutriMedical.com for Dr. Bill Deagle's Nutriodine, proven time and time again to be the very best iodine available for you. Nutriodine is the only Tesla-activated monatomic plasma iodine in the world. It optimizes mitochondrial function and generation of new mitochondria, from totally neutralizing the venom from a desert recluse spider bite in Southern California to eliminating malaria parasites reported by medical missionaries in Central India. Dr. Bill's Nutriodine is simply the most powerful healing formula there is. Nutriodine clears the body of all known pathogens, restores it to an alkaline state, and even promotes stem cell regeneration. Order Dr. Bill's Nutriodine today at 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shot the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-403-4885. That's 1-800-403-4885. 1-800-403-4885. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop, you save. Get full details in the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
You know, class, we've talked about abuse of police powers. We've talked about the shooting, the tasings, the handcuffing, the torture handcuffs, the unchecked abuse of police power, harming the villagers, and a lot of people are outraged with what we're talking about. And we're talking with Jeremy Benenati and Nicole Benenati of Wright County, Missouri. They're our neighbors. And I've got Crystal on the line. Crystal from Missouri. Welcome.
Hi. I just want to say that, I bought my house out here next to the Benenatis back in September 2014, and I met them April of last year through their neighbor, actually, who reported that they had stolen my German Shepherd, which was not the case. But me and my husband have got to know this family, and I believe that they are a great asset to this community. Our children play together. These people are the type of people that will give you the shirt off of their back if they can do that for you. Everything that Jeremy has stated is true and accurate. We arrived at the scene about 15 to 20 minutes after the officers got there, and we stayed until the officers left. So we were there for the entire thing. They haven't done nothing wrong, and yet their world's being torn apart. And I really would have liked them to see them come back to their home so that we can continue with our relationship, because I personally consider them family, and it's hard to find friends like that anymore.
And it's interesting you say this. You and I have never talked before, have we? Do I know you,
No.
Crystal?
Nope.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, evidently we're neighbors along with the Benenatis, and Rich Shealy recommended that we have a neighborhood meeting, and that is something that I've already put in place. We're just waiting for the date, and so I'm going to make an announcement when we have that neighborhood meeting. And by the way, Rich Shealy, the gentleman from Montana who called, has been to our farmhouse. He's been on this dirt road that we're talking about, the one in front of our house that connects ultimately to the road where Jeremy and Nicole have their property. So it's not like he's calling from not knowing anything that's going on. He knows what the area is like, because Rich Shealy has been here. I'm hearing you say that the Benenatis didn't do anything wrong. Is that correct?
They didn't do anything wrong. I'm personally from Montana myself, and I came to Missouri. I moved away from all my family and everything, and we've been down here for probably going on 6 years, and I have yet to make a good friend down here until I met the Benenatis. And if they were at fault, I would be the first one to say, hey, you guys were wrong. I'm that type of person. We were there for the whole thing, and they did absolutely nothing wrong. They stood their ground on the rights that all citizens have, and they've been basically harassed, in my opinion. And I think that having to move away from their cabin and leave everything behind and uproot 6 children, that's what we're looking at. They're interrupting the lives of a whole family. And I personally feel that it is just completely, the law enforcement is completely in the wrong for the actions they're taking on this.
What do you think should happen?
Honestly, I think that the neighbor, number one, should be in trouble for filing a false report. The officials that are involved in it should be in trouble for lying on documents. And I believe that the Benenati should be left alone and be able to come back to their home and finish building their house and finish making a place for them and their family and be able to stay in this community and be a part of this community. I'm not the only one that feels that way. I know there's other people in this community that feel the exact same way I do. They fit in perfectly. We moved out here because we wanted peace for our kids. We have 4 girls. We wanted peace for our kids. We're originally from Montana. We have not had any issues in the area we're in with any of our neighbors. And it just takes one bad seed to ruin it for a whole family. They're a better asset, in my opinion, to this community than their neighbor is.
There you go. Crystal, thanks. Thank you so much for being with us. Is there anything else you want to say?
Nope, that would be all.
Okay. Crystal, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Silent Night in Arkansas. You've joined the broadcast. Welcome, Silent Night.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Okay. I have to disagree with Rick on one thing. Number one, you don't speak to the police because anything you say, they can turn into a lie. And then what I have done is I now carry a tape recorder with me. It's not a tape recorder, it's a digital recorder. And everything that is questionable, whether I'm talking to questionable neighbors or police or anything, it's recorded. And what we have done in our past is when we moved into a community, we had, we'd make a batch of bread or cinnamon rolls or something and take it around to the neighbors and meet the neighbors. And you get a pretty good idea of who you're dealing with when you do that, and it also gives a little bit of a rapport. You can't win your enemies altogether, but you can limit them by how you treat them right off the bat. And, you know, on our farm, we raised wolves, and only one of them would be loose at one time. And we would go around to the neighbors about every 3 months and say, well, you know, is Cheyenne bothering you or Jack bothering you? And they'd say, oh, no, it's wonderful. It's really neat having them come up to the house to get petted and stuff like that. So it makes a difference on how you deal with the people in your neighborhood.
Silent Night, let me say this. I believe it was a little more difficult for the Benenatis to do that. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeremy or Nicole, but your neighbor didn't live there. Your neighbor just had property that he was using for hunting. Is that correct? And he was there once in a while.
Right, and that's correct, Vincent. And I do want to be completely clear. My husband worked during the day in a normal job in Springfield, and I was at home with the kids homeschooling, so there wasn't a lot of time to commute with everybody in the community. But we did make quite a few friends. You know, Crystal and Dale, obviously, are some of our best friends now, and we have other neighbors that we consider family. They are there for all of our kids' birthdays. I check on them regularly. You know, we have friends and family in this community. We didn't have a lot of time to go out into the community on a regular basis other than store runs. But, you know, I don't consider us outsiders, and I don't think a lot of our neighbors consider us outsiders.
Nicole,
so I really wanted to make that clear.
Nicole, how long did it take you and me to be friends?
Oh, 5 minutes? Less?
Yeah, 5 minutes or less. And
Right.
And you know, when I heard your story, I thought, wow, this is a family very much like our family. Family who wants to homeschool, a family wants to be left alone, and that's not happening. Silent Night, thank you so much for your call. I've got other calls lined up, but Silent Night is another one of our instructors. So across the country, we have Silent Night in Arkansas. We have Rich Sheben in Montana. Silent Night, thank you.
Yep.
There you go. That was Silent Night from Arkansas. We have George in New Hampshire. Welcome.
Hi, Vincent, and hello to you guests. I'd just like to say this, is that I think that individual who's, pulling a lot of this false reporting and everything is playing off of the old maxim, the best defense is offense. And I think it's time to get a little offensive in a nice legal way. And what I would suggest is, if he was convicted as a rapist in California, sounds like he moved to the middle of the country to get as far away as he could and start again. Problem is, though, he still is what, has happened, and it sounds like it's little wonder why they can't get a conviction on the Missouri rape case, in my opinion, because if he's employing these types of tactics, he seems to be very brave against puppies and women and things like this. Now, I would suggest this. Rapists, from what I recollect, have to file and register on a sexual registry, offenders registry. Am I correct on that, I believe? And I'm pointing you to a direction because if he hasn't filed himself and declared himself as a sexual offender, and he's not on the national registry, he could be in violation, and this would be a very strong red flag to show that there's an element of dishonesty here. There might even be an element of danger to the community at large if such a predator is undercover and he's carrying on this nefarious practice, in my opinion. And I would pursue every legal way I could, because I get a feeling like this. He may not have moved far enough away from California, and he may find Missouri might be another place that he may have to relocate from if he's going to continue to sexually offend.
Jeremy, any thoughts?
Yeah, that's actually one of the cases that Missouri had against him, was failure to register as a sex offender when he moved here. And they were unable to prosecute him for that as well.
But it would show that he failed to comply with the law, he was dishonest, and he was hiding something which would shed dubious lights on his integrity as an individual or his trustworthiness. Sorry to interrupt you, Jeremy.
No, that's okay. I definitely agree. It does, and it would.
And it's been brought to light that those things are happening. He is actually registered now, but we've made all of those points to all the people that, should matter in this situation, and it doesn't.
They seem to have I can tell you, they seem to have almost an unhealthy form of respect for the criminal element. I have seen it time and again where they treat them with kid gloves, and then when one of our numbers get into the smallest infraction, they make a federal case out of it, and they prosecute us because they know we don't keep them in business. We try to keep our nose to the grindstone, and not do anything illegal, and so we have as little to do with that system as possible. So I wish you well, my friend. Our prayers go with you, but like I said, consider that, though. I wouldn't let up on that aspect. And I would let the community know, because I would be afraid for my wife and our women folk. That's all I would say. And offense is the best defense.
George, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your call.
Bye-bye.
How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com. and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit guns80.com, guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $7.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
You've been hearing Dr. Wallach talking about 90 essential nutrients, keeping the body healthy. GCNteam.com now has Beyond Tangy Tangerine tablets, 60 plant-derived minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, packed in a powerful tablet. But that's not it. 160,000 auric points, a knockout punch to free radicals. Call 877-878-4203 or go to GCNteam.com. That's 877-878-4203.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Class, I've called Representative Tony Duggar's office 4 times during this broadcast. I was able to speak to a person twice, and my understanding was that Tony would get back to me. Tony Duggar, D-U-G-G-E-R. I haven't gotten any information, none, no information. And if you'd like to call him, I authorize you to call on behalf of USA Prepares and report what you find. When you talk with Representative Tony Duggar. He is the Missouri House of Representatives member. He's been serving 4 terms. This is his 4th term. Okay, so I know Tony, but I can't get him on the phone. He's in a meeting. 573-751-2205. 573-751-2205. I'd like to see this whole thing dismissed. I'd like this all to go away. Because I actually believe what Jeremy Benenati and Nicole Benenati are saying. Nicole, were you in fear of your children being killed?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that question?
Were you in fear of your children being killed?
Absolutely. At the time that I was there, I just think how erratic the whole situation was. I definitely was in fear. I'd walked back to the property where I had the kids positioned because we had been making breakfast when all of this stuff had gone down and starting to build. And then when I realized that all of those police were out there, I called my friend, Crystal, that came, and I said, I need you to come get my kids. And then I started thinking about the fact that I'm going to have to walk my children up who have never been exposed. Up until we moved to the country, I have never had the police officers knock on my door.
Okay, Nicole, let me ask you this: were you afraid of the police shooting your children? Is that what you're saying?
I am a little bit. Yeah, I definitely had that fear.
Okay, were you afraid of your neighbor shooting? Were you afraid of your neighbor shooting your children?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Jeremy?
I mean, they directly warned us that our children could be shot if they were out, during hunting season. So absolutely. I kind of felt like that was warning.
Jeremy, how about you?
Most certainly.
Jeremy, okay. Were you afraid of being shot by the police?
Yes.
Were you afraid of being shot by your neighbor?
Yes.
Okay. Count number 1, unlawful use of a weapon. Okay. Count number 2
is also unlawful use of a weapon. The first one is for shooting at my neighbors, supposedly, and that carries a term of imprisonment not to exceed 15 years. Count 2 is a Class D felony for unlawful use of a weapon, and that's for exhibiting a weapon in the presence of one or more persons, a weapon readily capable of lethal use in an angry or threatening manner.
Is that what the police did to you? Wait, hold it. Isn't that what the police did to you?
That's exactly what they did to me.
That would be the sheriff's deputy?
Correct. And the state trooper.
Okay, so now you have two members of law enforcement doing that. Okay, count number 3?
Count number 3 is resisting arrest.
What does that mean?
They're saying that Deputy Mike Foreman, who is the deputy that initially made contact with the Wright County Sheriff's Office, when he came out, he made it clear to me that I was under arrest, which is not true.
Did he say you were under arrest?
He never said I was under arrest. He never gave me an order. All he ever said to me was, I just want to talk to you.
Okay, count number 4. Okay, we're low on time. Count number 4.
Count number 4 is the doozy. Count number 4 is armed criminal action. And this count carries a minimum sentence of not less than 4 years in prison. So if I am convicted of that charge, there will be no parole, there will be no dismissal of the sentence. I will serve 4 years in prison time.
Jeremy, will you come back on the air with me? And Nicole, will you come back on the air with me?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, let's see if we can get this whole thing dismissed. It's an outrage, absolute outrage. Class, I'm going to give you Tony Duggar's number one more time, 573-751-2205. 573-751-2205. And I will post the link to the Benenati's website on usaprepares.com right after this broadcast. Let's make those phones ring and let's find out what's going on, because I think something really smells here. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. Thank you so much, the Benenati family. By now you know that usaprepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit usaprepares.com. That's usaprepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. usaprepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.